Hi everyone, thanks for coming to the page and just checking out my journey so far. For those of you who would have maybe seen the first video about me seeking the fundraising support, the finances, I'm glad to say that the majority of the first part of the trip, the first part of the trip has been covered. Still some finances required for the second part, but I decided to take a leap of faith and go ahead with the first part, and then trusting that God will provide through people for the second part before I get there. Now, in that leap of faith, I've been encouraged. I can say right now I'm on Mercy Ships. I'm in my cabin. I won't give a tour just yet because I'm on my laptop, and I would like to. The next video, maybe I'll do a full tour when I'll go around the ship and then show you guys around. So look forward to that. But right now, the reason I can't give a full tour is actually I'm just over a week into my first week here with Mercy Ships, and due to COVID-19, I'm under restriction, having kind of flown in from the UK. So I'm limited to my room for the majority of the time, and I'm still able to do shifts. So I'm serving with the dining room team at the moment, and due to the restrictions, obviously having minimal social interaction and minimal contact with people, I'm a dishwasher for the time being. So in terms of the rota, so the day that I work 2 days on, 2 days off, and then work a weekend as well, and that rotates every other week. So it does it's quite busy. It's quite physical labor, so it's quite draining physically. But I'm enjoying it. It's good to kind of get gritty and use your hands when serving. So it's a good kind of change of pace for me. In terms of, I mentioned about kind of taking that leap of faith and getting on board the ship, I do have to say, I was massively encouraged when there's times where you take a leap of faith and God works things out which are completely out of your control. I remember the week before I was due to fly out. I was waiting for final confirmation and had to get a DBS checked. There are kids, there's youth on board the ship as well, and families on board, so had to be DBS checked. And basically, when I sent it off, it came back the next day, all cleared and then passed. And this was, at best of times it can be kind of 3 days, at worst times it can take at least a week to get some of those things cleared. And so even the person I was working with in office, who was my kind of coordinator getting me on board, said she was like so surprised that's never happened before in her kind of years of working and getting people on board, for a DBS to come back so quickly. She said that's the fastest she's ever seen. So things like that, when they're out of your hands, and God kind of, you can tell God's working things out, so you're just encouraged to take that leap of faith and to trust Him and put Him in complete control. So yeah, I'm still trusting Him for provision and for the rest of the trip to go well. In terms of I guess, with the restriction right now, I'm a bit of an extrovert, so it is tough just kind of being in my own headspace, and I've got a book to read, and obviously got a lot of time to spend with the Lord, so that is a blessing. I've also got access to the top deck of the ship, and we can go out on the dock to, I guess, just go for a walk, get some fresh air in your lungs, stretch those legs. So that's good for me as well, and trying to make the most of that. But nevertheless, it is tough. So thankfully, before the end of this week, I'll be off restrictions, so I'll have more open access to the rest of the ship, and I'll be able to kind of meet more people, get to make friends, and really engage in fellowship on board the ship. So I'm looking forward to that. In terms of, I guess, with this YouTube channel, I'm making it so, my ultimate goal is to pursue a long-term mission ministry. So whilst these 2 trips I've spoken about and fundraised for, I'm looking to kind of this be hopefully the new direction, the route, like for where I go down for the rest of my life, God willing. And so I think it's going to be a good way for me to really, I guess, reflect and grow and share my journey, and hopefully make it an encouragement to you guys. But also, I mean, I'm expecting I'll probably be in different parts of the world at different times. So it's a good way to kind of stay in touch and get a bit of face-to-face action, so to speak, even if I'm miles away from people. So and alongside that, actually, I would say I'm going to try to, with each video, try and give a reflection as part of an encouragement. And so for me this week, as I say, I've been as a dishwasher in the back room of the kitchen, and having very minimal kind of social interaction. I'm working alongside another guy who my reflection has just allowed me to really be in awe of how much God has a plan and is speaking into each individual's life. And why I say that is because this guy who I'm working with, really smart guy, he's actually trained to work with surgical instruments. I mean, this is a hospital ship. He came from Senegal and Guinea, and where there was a kind of a civil war, and grew up through that for about 10 years, and was working under a lot of the rebels. And I mean, the conditions were horrific at the time, and thankfully got out of that. And now, I mean, he's like just serving the Lord with such a good heart. And he was sharing with me back home now, he's supporting financially. He's got projects with his brother where they're basically establishing schools in the local area, because there's so many kids on the streets who have been orphaned, and they're just kind of going into the street life, the gang life, to try and make ends meet, to take care of themselves and their younger siblings. And he's quite talented musically, and so he kind of engages with them with music, and encourages them to go into school, and kind of starts and helps fund the school to cover the cost of books and things like that. And it's slowly, little by little, growing. And he started that for about 2 or 3 years ago now. And just him sharing that story and that testimony, I'm just super encouraged that even the farthest reaches of the earth, which I don't even know exist, God has got someone bringing truth and light and love in that place as well. And so it makes me more excited to get to meet the rest of the people there and hear their story, and how God set their heart to come and serve on mercy ships like He has with mine. So yeah, that's you. Be encouraged that you're part of a body that God is intrinsically working in for the sake for His sake, and that all things will work out. So that's my encouragement for this week, and just a bit of an update in terms of what I'm doing. If you've got any specific questions or something you'd like me to do on the next video, then do let me know. I'll try and keep them more regular. And this is my first time kind of recording myself and doing this whole thing. I'm hoping that the regularity and the quality of these videos will get better through time. Bear with me, but it's good to be able to update you all, and I'm doing well, and hoping to speak to you again soon with some more positive news. Thanks.